Yeah. No, I should have mentioned that.
Do we
All right.
have checklists for site plan?
We do. Yep.
Oh, I forgot to get those again.
Guess we
get 'em.
got a quorum.
Thank
What are we doing?
It looks sporty. Oh wow, it's so easy.
One way to put it. You get 2 microphones?
No, this could be
Your name
yours.
tag?
1, 2, 3. No, I wasn't coming at you. It was kind of a compliment.
Sporty.
You look like you were just outside having fun. Oh boy.
Your sister over at Silver Hall?
Not tonight.
Not tonight?
Not tonight. She was at the town manager talk with me.
Oh.
Sorry to have missed that.
Did you have work stuff?
No, you know,
Yeah.
like small windows of family time. I said, you know what?
Oh, okay.
That's gonna take priority today.
That's fair.
What's
I
that?
should we're down to like one app.
Declaration of Independence.
Later.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that not the deck? Is that the Gettysburg Address?
So this is kind of, this is
I
advisory.
think I remember that, or what?
We're elected officials, everybody.
Oh, okay.
You can send those around for the rest of us?
One of those.
Yeah, you got
No,
one.
I was gonna keep them all.
Oh, you can.
I was gonna read the whole
The big checklist for design review of site plan, which we don't need right immediately.
Is this updated from the old one, or?
These are the same.
It's the same?
Yep.
Haven't looked at it in a while. It's different than I remember it.
Been probably 3 years.
Yeah.
Let's see, second, site shall comply.
Okay.
I'm thinking this would be very small. Sidewalk from Burger King to Route 25.
An 8.5 by 11.
Good idea.
Terrible.
Seems like every time we almost get it, somebody wants some money for something.
We're gonna be rolling in dough pretty soon.
So it's 6:31. I will call the meeting to order. So I will once I have the agenda in front of me. Okay. Roll call of members. Me, Molly McCann. I'm here. John Christ.
Present.
Matt Yetton is absent tonight. Excused. Phil may be joining us later, but is not here right now. Neil MacGyver.
Present.
Tom Newcomb.
Here.
Bill Bolton.
Here.
And alternate Zach Tyrell is not here. Bradford Puffer is not here. And alternate Todd Chappell.
Present.
So I will seat Mr. Chappell as a voting member for the evening. So, agenda item number 3, public comments unrelated to business on the agenda. So if anyone from the public has something to talk about, not having to do with our agenda items, please come to the podium and announce yourself, or if you're online, which I don't think anyone is online.
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. Number 4, review of minutes from July 2nd, planning board work meeting. No notes.
So
from
I
me.
will say, there were a few things here and there I remembered, like other people saying or something, but I'm not really going to get too worried about those because what was said was totally on point. There was one point though where I noticed that Joseph was called by his first name rather than last name. I have no recollection of where that was, but I remember reading that at the beginning of one of the paragraphs somewhere.
Control find Joseph.
Yeah, exactly. Hit Control F, yeah, and it'll come up. But otherwise, they look pretty good.
Is the staff report on those, containing those minutes too, or not?
No.
Okay.
So those would be.
In case I got,
Somewhere.
just gotta give you that.
I'm not gonna find it in my quick scan, but it's in there somewhere. And you know, ultimately it's correct. It's just a matter of consistency.
Consistency and clarity.
Fair enough.
Oh, there it is. It's the last page.
Oh, yes. Yeah, just
Joseph
above
also
number
noted.
7, page 9.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve them as amended.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Okay, one abstention. Ooh, I still think it's June, apparently. Okay, 16, 26. Okay. So, agenda item 5, communications received by the board.
So there have been no new communications, though we continue to have the survey up. So
Right.
that's informing a communication. Last I had checked, there were about 52 or so responses so
Good.
far. The short-term rental survey.
Pretty good.
If anyone's interested in taking that out in the public, it is up on the website, town website. It went out in the newsletter as well. So we have it, I think, scheduled to close on the 31st of this month. So once that's done, we'll just bundle all those responses up and send them to the board. But no, aside from that, no other communications.
Okay, so it's,
No.
What's that? Oh, yeah, that's a good point. There
Okay.
was a communication, thank you, John, from Elm Grove in response to the planning board's questions about the potential community development block grant application. So the planning board had formulated 2 questions, which the applicant did provide a written response to, as well as spoke to at the public hearing at the select board meeting earlier this week. At that meeting, the select board discussed these items and then ultimately did approve of moving forward with the application, and the other documents as well were approved at that time. So the select board did take these questions, though, and ask them to Elm Grove, in addition to these written responses, which we also shared with the select board.
okay, great. So questions posed to Elm Grove are there, and their answers are available for anyone who wants to see them. Okay. So, agenda item 6, applications and public hearings. We will begin with a continuation of a public hearing on an application from Bedford Design for site plan review to permit the development of 2 contractor storage unit buildings of 18,240 and 20,160 square feet, along with the associated site improvements on parcel 213-023-002. The property is located on the west side of Yetton Road and within the agricultural district. So this public hearing is open. Looks like we have a representative ready to speak. Is there any discussion from the board before we fully open this up? To remind everybody, we had a few questions that we left off with last month. Specifically, we were looking for details of wall signs for each of the units. We wanted to know more about the security lighting and have the details of that notated on the plan or noted on the plan. We were looking for guardrail specifications as well as architectural changes that align with the site plan regulations. So I can have the applicant respond to those first. Go ahead, Bill.
So, judging by the description in the application, it doesn't seem like the suggestions for, uniqueness along the front of the building,
Articulation, roof articulation.
was addressed. Or
Right.
Could you tell us your name again, please?
Robert Baskerville of Bedford Design Consultants.
Thank you.
I was here last month,
Yes.
going over a few items that we had. The other thing that this was delayed for, we had a zoning board meeting,
Yep.
but only 3 people on the zoning board showed up.
Yep.
So that got postponed, so we don't have our special exception yet.
Okay.
Talking about the roof line options first, articulation of the building, whatever you'd like to call it. The owner, who wanted to be here and talk about it himself, he had a family emergency out of state. So I'm gonna show you what he sent us.
Okay.
I can come up closer if you want. But the first thing he liked was adding columns and roof lines at several spots along the building. He showed 3 facing the street. We have a stone pier, a wooden column going up, and a separate roof line, 3 spots in the building, to add some variation so it's just not that flat, straight roof. The other one he came up with, similar, but instead of having the columns, hard to see here, but at, again, 3 to 4 different spots. You extend the roof line out, and then you put wooden supports underneath it, which really aren't supporting it, but it looks good on both ends. So the roof line will be longer, shorter, longer, shorter.
Yep, I see that.
I like the first one. I told him that. But we wanted to get input. He's willing to do either one. You would like me to bring this a little closer? It's hard to see.
I think so, yeah, if you're willing to bring this closer and storybook show us. Okay, so there are signs as well.
Yeah.
Or,
He still plans to have signs above the doors. They'll meet zoning.
Yeah.
They won't be lit or backlit at all. He agrees to all of that.
Okay.
He didn't put an actual size, but we looked up the zoning and they'll be smaller than zoning.
Will you just turn it that way? And then, yeah,
You
okay.
can see here, you know, you've got it,
Yep.
it extends out probably 5 feet.
Yeah,
Shed roof, kind of.
yeah,
And then you've got supports at the end.
yeah.
These are more decorative than they are support ones.
Yeah. Bill and Neil, can you see them?
It's all steel construction.
Yeah. But this adds a little bit of wood flavor to the front, and it breaks up the roof line. And I'll go to the one icon. I'm over and I'll be over for you in a minute. All good. So instead of the roof coming out high, you put a roof, put 3 roofs in it, you put stonework, supports, I don't know what you call it, but waist high, with that same wooden support system here, and I've got several of those along the building. To kind of break it up and give it more color and more feel.
Yeah. Column feet, kind of.
So it's like a portico over,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
over the view of the entrances.
Yeah, he's willing to do either one. Instead of coming in and saying, I want to do this one or that one. you wanna-
I personally do also like the first one more. Yeah.
So this changes the number of doors. This looks like a different number of
Yeah, I did
units. Oh, okay, so it's just a sketch
This
rendition.
is a sketch rendition.
Okay, got
We
it.
went to AI instead of the architect to come up with ideas.
Okay.
So yeah, the doors are wrong. I saw that too.
Okay, so before committing to any one design, you just wanted you wanted to get quick
No,
feedback.
looks better.
Okay,
We'll have the architect add it to his
okay.
plans.
I wonder how, if we prefer that one, how it will be resolved with the number of units that they want. It'd be interesting to see.
How many he puts in?
Yeah,
I'm thinking he'd put in one more, but I
Okay.
didn't see that till today.
okay, yeah.
That somehow AI likes to make decisions for you.
Of course.
It does, yes, that's certainly true.
And not tell you.
And it's good when you actually realize it, though.
Yeah, it is. That's part of this
So I heard,
literacy.
I heard what, 1 or 2 people? Is there
What's the height of the peak of the roof
on the,
ground level?
on
the
the
peak.
front, it's 10 feet. I think it's 18 on the back.
Yep.
18?
18 on the back, the inside. But on the front, I believe the bottom of the roof line is 10. So you
I
won't
mean,
have-
the peak of the ridge line on the back, on the rear. So it's a total height of 18 feet?
Yeah. Right, the ridge line is on the back of the building. I just looked that up today.
Because it's a shed roof that slopes forward.
Oh gosh, sorry.
We've got 10 feet to the eave on the front. We've got
Sheet.
double deck here. Well, 18 of the wall, but then the ceiling goes up a little higher, so the top of that's actually 19.
Okay.
And it pitches towards Yeton Road.
Yes. And then the back one pitches away.
Oh, the other way?
Right.
If the two buildings are such that
Yeah.
Face each other.
the back side of them
Right.
together.
Oh, I see.
Right. So this pitches to
There.
Yeton Road, this pitches away. And then all of your drive-up doors are all in the back.
Which are concealed for the most part.
I think that the elevations are in the site plans somewhere, Neil, if you
So
want to look
most
at
of
them.
the loading activity will be between the buildings?
Correct.
All of the
What's that?
loading
All
activity.
loaded. The only thing that'll be on the two outsides of this main doors.
Now,
One other quick comment too, that articulation of the front of the building,
Yeah,
you're just gonna do that in Yetton because nobody will see it back here.
I see.
well, that was actually my question, was if you're proposing just doing it on the Yetton Road side.
Interesting.
Now, he didn't actually say that, but to me, it just only makes sense, is that you've just got trees back here.
Mhm.
Okay,
But
interesting.
I can listen to opinions. Since he couldn't make it,
Yep.
Yeah.
you guys can tell me what to do and I'll say
And, you know,
they pounded their fist and said, "Do it this way."
Okay.
You know, I'm more concerned, and I think most people are more concerned of the appearance from Yetton Road, but might help things to have it.
You what?
It might help to have it on both
back
buildings
too.
for consistency, just, I don't know what the consensus of the board
So I guess
is.
I was thinking it is a complicated question. If we think about, I think, the purpose of our regulations in this regard, we exempted storage units, but not like more public-facing sorts of
Commercial
things.
things, yeah.
So like storefronts, and I would say a storefront even facing like a back lot somewhere, these would apply to if the building was large enough. So it's not just about the store frontage on a road. Practically, I can see why if it's facing that way, it doesn't matter quite as much. But I think the spirit of the regulations is if it's something more public-facing, that might be like an office that somebody walks into, we want our businesses in town to have a certain look to them, whereas storage, loading can kind of look differently. So it might apply in that regard. And I'd also, it's like, say, one more broader point. Design regulations are tough, because it's hard to come up with a set of rules just to apply broadly across everything. And in a sense, in some ways, like following the spirit of the regulations in some ways, I think, is as important sometimes as being maybe a little bit flexible about how you actually implement that.
But I think that also, I mean, these are called a contractor storage unit, but I envision it that you could have a contractor that has a public operation where people are coming in to the office. So I look at these as more of a, not necessarily storage, but it's a business office that also has workspace.
To be technical about it, is really a mixed use. It's, I'm trying to, this is, oh, the application looks different than I remember.
But if somebody was creating an office space,
Yeah,
we would assume that these guidelines are in place regardless of which direction the building's facing.
True. And another consideration is right now that back building is facing trees.
But it could change.
Exactly, the use of that other property that could be converted to commercial space, and therefore it, you know, that is facing another building.
yeah, thinking, 50 years down the line, that is certainly a possibility. I think there's also a kind of practical question where if the front is going to be more public-facing and is going to be more office-oriented, then there could be potentially customers coming to that end. And having that visual articulation is kind of a wayfinding design guideline as well. So
Okay.
I think I can see the practicality, of course, and I don't think we want to unduly burden the applicant in any way.
I've got down that you prefer option one, and we'll put it on the front and the back.
Okay. Any other discussion about that? Bill?
So there are light fixtures
Yes.
above, like, maybe every fourth bay or something?
So may I pass out the
Please.
cut sheets for the lights?
They're attached to the building, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Right.
And presumably dark skies compliant and all that.
Yep,
Oh, yes, they are.
yep, dark sky compliant. But it's nice to actually see
100%.
what they look like. And these don't shine out at all, they got the LEDs that just shine down. And I think what they do is, there's like 3 rows of LEDs, one shines down, and the next one outer though, the next one outer though, but they're all underneath the top of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
He has agreed to put motion detection on all of those. We have said before that we'll keep the lights off from 10 to 5.
Except, but there'll be
Pop on
motion
if there's
detection.
motion.
Motion detection during those times.
Right, right.
Okay.
I didn't have a chance to talk to him. It's my impression, though, when you drive by a site, you don't want it pitch black in the night. What I was going to talk to him about was, I think we had about 8 or 9 of these on along the front. Take 1, 2, and 3 and leave 3 of them on to give it a little bit of light. It's not security lighting. It's not up to that level.
Yeah.
But then the site isn't pitch black. In between, even less. I was going to leave one on here where it can't be seen past the building, one on here because it's blocked here too, and one here, just so the inside has a little bit of light, and then 2 or 3 on the back of it. I don't like a building that's just pitch black at night.
It's not uncommon for a building to have some kind of night lighting.
Yeah, there is a safety element to,
Even though you'll have motion detection that pops on if somebody drives in there,
yeah.
Still
from the
good to have
street when you
some.
drive back and past and it's just pitch.
With some subtle lighting, not like stadium lighting at night. and-
Oh yeah, this is on the building, downward lighting.
I think that makes sense.
I do too.
Okay,
Because
Maybe
also,
get
if
the-
you are entering that area, you'd like to be able to see into it before you
right.
hit those motion lights.
And then once you pull up into a parking spot, then your motion lights where you pull in will come on. But at least you can guide your way around and you can get a feel for it.
Doesn't seem like there'll be any more obtrusive than a regular street light.
No, less,
So,
Less so, 'cause it'll be
so
lower.
looking at your mock-up,
right.
it looked like they were like a light fixture above, like a barn light or something like that. So those are probably like an AI suggestion as well, or
Oh, on this one? I don't know where. it
yours? Yeah, your,
was. We won't use the AI light location.
Yeah.
well, let's assume not.
But the other thing is that, I think they put them in several spots here, like here.
Yeah,
On the front and the back, well, you got a 10-foot roof line. So you put these in, they're not shining out very far. They're just not high enough. And they're not up the level of the street line. In the back, we can put them up higher, but they face interior.
Yeah.
So just there'll be different heights for these, and these are lower because they got to be below the 10-foot ceiling. And then these might be 12 to 15 feet up.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Going through my list, talked about the signs above the doors. We'll put a note on there that it'll meet all zoning and there'll be no interior or exterior lighting. He did say every tenant will be located on the main directory sign. We discussed that 2 weeks ago. We'll add a note that you asked for, that there'll be no overnight trailer parking. We'll put on,
Trailer parking? No overnight trailer parking.
right. That got brought up. There's no trailer parking space here anyway. All we've got is pedestrian. But it came up at the meeting
Yep.
last month. They're not allow it. So we'll actually put a note on the plan. Do you want to sign up as people drive in? Maybe. Hadn't thought of that, but
At the driveway?
it's one thing to have a note on the plan. But if a truck driver drives in, I don't know if it doesn't look good here, but maybe put one in
No
here
overnight
someplace.
like a no overnight parking sign?
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt.
So I'll put a note on the plan and a couple of signs.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say no.
We're not, yeah, no. I think the more clarity you can have, the better.
Right.
so you said the board suggested that?
You can if you want.
And lastly, you asked for a guardrail detail. We'll add that to the plan.
What was that last comment? Sorry.
You asked for a guardrail detail. We'll add that to the plan.
Okay.
There are a lot of things here that we were moving targets. Which one did you want? So we
Sure.
didn't actually turn in new plans.
Okay. That's
Now
fair.
that we've firmed up what we're going to do, I can update the plans and submit them.
I think that's very fair.
So the open item is still the ZBA.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think I was looking at a lot of the letters from the public
Yeah.
that were part of our packet, and a lot of them seem to pertain to the ZBA. And me personally, I wouldn't even want to wade into the content of some of those before the ZBA actually hears those arguments and kind of like start prejudging some of those arguments in this panel or on this board.
Yeah, so I will just say that we did receive a letter from citizens Joe Brittany and Avery Quaranta, who live on 33 Yetton Road. And it's to both the Planning and Zoning Board. To summarize the content, they go through the special exceptions regulations that are in our zoning. And so as John just said, I think we as the planning board, since we do not make the decisions about special exceptions, we will allow those questions to be resolved with the zoning board. Acknowledging that we have received this letter and are waiting a decision. So any other members of the public that wish to make comment? The public, wow, what is the word? Hearing. Thank you, is open. If you'd like to speak, please come forward.
I just got a couple of questions. Jack Nelson, 815 Tenny Mountain Highway. Do I understand that the backs of these buildings are going to face each other?
Yes.
So the snow loads will all flow to the entranceways?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you have a choice one way or the other. The other thing is that we'd brought up before is getting tractor-trailer trucks into the area without, I don't believe you can swing a trailer truck that's coming from Tenny Mountain Highway into a 22-foot opening that's on your right without going into the other lane of traffic. It's a safety thing.
Okay.
And also, I think this is probably more of the other stuff has got maybe mostly to the zoning board is that they're going to have a clear-cut logging operation going on there with skidders, chippers, grinders, tractor-trailer trucks pulling in to truck the chips away. Then they're going to have to dig out so much earth. I'm not sure where the earth's going to go and how much fill they're going to put in to do that. And then again, you've got bulldozers, excavators, dump trucks, and compactors, vibrating compactors that compact the material underneath the foundations. More trucks bringing in the fill. We've had issues where we live with our house. Our house was built in the 1800s with some cracks in the walls and things when the other places put in next to us. Then you got more concrete coming in, and then the material for the build the buildings is going to be coming in on tractor-trailer trucks. I know there's been a discussion about loading docks. Well, I've unloaded and loaded many tractor-trailer trucks without loading docks. Most of the time a trailer backs up, you run, if it's away in the front, the driver's got a pallet jack in the truck that brings it to the rear in most cases. If not, you hook a chain on the length of the trailer, hook it up to the pallet and drag it to the back. And I think that's all.
Okay, so it sounds like a lot of your concerns are around especially potential construction impacts. And during construction time, the practicalities of large vehicles getting in and out of the site.
Yep.
Okay.
And can I clarify, and so are you concerned about the ongoing impact of large vehicles or just during construction?
Yeah.
Both.
Both,
Okay.
Okay.
Because I assume that if you got a carpenter shop there, it might come in on a flatbed truck, but it might come in on a flatbed trailer.
I see.
All the parts for the buildings, I guess, would probably come in on tractor-trailer trucks.
I have a staff question.
Go ahead.
So Joseph, I noticed that the highway department had no comments. I wonder if maybe
Yeah.
should we ask for clarification with regard to that specific sort of question, if
Or at least
driveway
they're,
requirements and stuff like that are going to be adequate for larger vehicles that may or may not be using this site?
Yeah, we could ask them for input. I will say that ultimately the driveway is a DOT question, so it would have to meet
Okay.
DOT's driveway permitting specs. We could always ask our highway department for
Yeah.
advice on the matter, but ultimately driveway specs that it will be conforming to are not the towns, but
Yes,
the
okay.
states.
And then,
Go ahead.
another thing I'm concerned about is the water again.
Right.
So what, right now, there's standing water out there in that area that abuts our property and my property.
Okay.
So,
Related to John's question, I was thinking that perhaps the applicant could, in the next generation of plans, if you could address the turning radius and look at is it sufficient for a tractor-trailer truck to be able to turn in? Do you have the sufficient radius without them needing to do a wide turn into the left lane?
Okay.
thank you.
And is that part of the traffic we expect? Tractor trailers coming in and out of there? Is that part of the traffic we
We don't
expect?
expect any, there's no 4-foot loading docks, there's only 60 feet below buildings.
Yeah.
But as the gentleman said, sooner or later, somebody drives one in.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
You know,
fair enough.
we don't expect them on any regular basis, there's no, you couldn't pull up to one of these buildings, you can pull along it. But you can't say it'll never happen.
Yeah.
So to reiterate,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. I was going to reiterate what you just said into the mic.
Yeah, I'll read it again. We will check the turning radius. If we think it's too tight, we'll make it a little wider and make just as far as the DOT will let us go.
Okay.
They don't like wide driveways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing I'm looking at is if a tractor-trailer truck were to pull in there,
I want to get out.
how do they get out? Is there sufficient turning radius to get it, around the front of the building, which looks very tight,
It's very tight, yeah.
around either front or the back? Or are they gonna need to back up, in which case they'd need, some type of more room to back in to the left of the back building in order to go around. So I think if you look at, the turning radius in as well as them being able to back out.
Interior. Yeah. Yeah, because even if it's not a regular pattern, but happens occasionally, there could be some challenges and safety issues presented.
One thing I'll look into is it looks the most obvious to me, but I have to talk to the owner because I think that's where he had the sign. Let's say he pulls in here. What he's probably gonna try to do is to back in this way and go
Right.
back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
And what I was thinking, if that's the case, I can make this a bigger turn here,
Right.
or a drive-over type of curve. So we'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
And I will note that in my old building, 20 years ago, we had a parking lot where, according to the math, they could never turn around. And every now and then, you'd see a 72-foot truck come in, and all of the engineers would race outside, and you'd see that guy make the turn. You're like, he can't do that.
I've seen some pretty impressive maneuvering with large
Yeah.
trucks in small
Right.
driveways, so.
But the lot's got to do with the driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can't bank on that, unfortunately.
I know.
So, sir, if I could just address
Mr. Nelson, are you open to receiving a
Yeah.
question from the board? Why don't you ask me, Tom?
so with that, I'm just wondering if that would address Mr. Nelson's concerns regarding tractor-trailer trucks being able to
Okay.
access and get in and out of the property without having to cross lanes.
So those kinds of detailed questions that we just asked the applicant to provide us with about driveway radiuses and making sure that if there were to be a large truck, that it would be able to safely leave.
Yeah.
Does that satisfy your concerns once
Yeah,
we see it?
Except I think that you're gonna have a lot more trailer trucks than you have an idea. Almost any of these people that are accepting freight from any of the trucking companies, a lot of them deliver with tractor-trailer trucks. Like
Yeah.
Ross Express out of Panicut, they run some straight jobs, but most of them are tractor-trailers. Because once they leave the terminal, they want to have a full load to deliver at multiple different locations.
Right.
So, and I mean, if you got a guy doing mini splits and electrical stuff, they're going to be on pallets, probably
Right.
on enclosed trucks, any kind of electronics. Probably steel and lumber would be on flatbeds,
Right.
appliances, and so on and so forth.
Right. There's some assurance, at least, that these units are small enough that it's unlikely that one particular unit haver is going to have so much space to be able to take an entire trailer. I'm
That's correct. Yeah.
okay. Okay, thank you.
One other comment. I believe at the last hearing, there was the butter directly across the street had
Yeah.
brought up some concerns regarding headlights from vehicles.
Yes, I think they addressed that in their letter. That's the Joe Brittany and Avery
Right,
Quaranta.
but memory serves me, I believe there was going to be a discussion between the applicant and the neighbor about
That's familiar, yeah.
putting up some type of,
Off-site improvement.
yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious as to if there's been any progress on that discussion.
I haven't spoken to him. I know that Mark talked to them directly at one time in the past. Has he talked to them the last 30 days? I thought he was going to be here tonight, so I don't know.
Okay.
You know, we talked, he does agree to do it. It was going to be offline and not a condition. It's up to the board to decide if you want to put some wording in a motion or, so that there's, I don't have a plan for that.
Okay.
One of the suggestions was to actually move the driveway,
Yes, that
and
is,
that seems like that would require a lot more talking than put some trees in.
I think that the answer to that, and I'd like you to answer that question too, but last time we talked about that, I'm pretty sure basically it was impossible to move the driveway because of DOT.
Okay.
Is that
right.
still
I think
true?
your site distance going up here, and I think one of the members, one of the public mentioned that last week, your site distance this way, we can't push it that way because we already got bad site distance.
Can you push it closer to Route 25?
Yeah, that would be,
So to the north?
Their house is here though, right?
That could make it worse.
That could make it worse. I think they're afraid that when you take this turn, you'll get lights. So we were gonna put something in here. So moving it this way,
Yeah.
I don't think will help them.
I think all the way down to the end, though. That's where
They say moving the driveway to the other end of the
Yeah.
property
Oh, all the way to
entirely.
this?
Yeah,
They wouldn't let us put it in that close to the highway, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a,
okay.
Well, but you have
You got a
the
sharp
mini mall
curve here,
there.
too.
You
that has a
can't put
driveway.
it, you can't put it as close to that entrance to the mini mall.
Oh,
I
okay.
think the DOT would shoot it down,
Yeah.
Why is that, Neil?
because it's too much conflict, too much congestion.
Too many
Yeah,
too many driveways too close to
concentrate
each other.
Taking
A
turns
lot
too
of
close.
traffic.
Okay. I remember there being a reason to
Right.
not have the driveway on that side. We
I
asked
think
that
it would be
question.
nice if they could move the entrance to that end.
It
But I
would,
don't think the state's gonna let them.
yeah,
that's pretty likely, yeah.
yeah. So what's the board's take on off-site improvements?
I think I'd like to see an understanding that the abutter across the street and the applicant have reached an agreement, and that we don't necessarily need to have full details of that in our notice of decision, but I think that there should be some type of a condition.
We don't have enough information at this point to not put that in.
Right.
But we could at a future meeting,
Mhm.
should we continue this. Yeah, okay.
I think we're not ready to make a decision on it tonight anyway, so we're awaiting the ZBA action.
Well, technically, we can decide without the ZBA,
With a condition?
but it sounds like there are moving pieces anyway still.
Yeah, we still need, we don't have
And-
enough information about the final
And since we're still waiting
architecture.
for the ZBA, we may as well wait for those other things to get ironed out.
Do
Sorry?
they have a hearing scheduled?
Yes, your hearing with the ZBA is scheduled for the first Tuesday of August or second Tuesday of August?
I think so, yes.
Rescheduled at this point.
Yeah, rescheduled. That's
Yep,
correct.
August 4th is
August
correct.
4th.
Continue to,
Uh,
yeah, but it doesn't matter.
As a sub-question to Tom's, why don't we just figure out if there is a regulation, if DOT would allow it somewhere else, closer to the other one, the driveway? Because it seems, we think we have a good idea from my impression, but it's come up twice now and nobody really has the absolutely, and if that would help the people out, then that might solve it anyway.
I agree with that.
Okay. So can we get a definitive answer about,
Yep,
yeah, okay.
we will
Even if it's
address
a
that.
letter from DOT saying, no, we won't allow it.
Okay.
All right. So if we want to continue this, which it kind of sounds like we have an appetite to do that, we will need to mutually agree on extension of the public hearing for August 20th, which will be the next business meeting.
And just to clarify, if we do continue this, is everything squared away in terms of our expectations and?
Oh, yeah. Do you have any more questions for us?
I don't think I have any more questions from you. You know,
Okay.
we'll take what you gave us tonight and incorporate it into the plans before then.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, does anyone else have?
That
And
we
if
want
this-
to make sure.
And just to say officially for the record, we are okay with extending it to that night.
Great.
So it would be good to get an actual elevation, yes.
Yes, a true to what will be built.
We'll give it to the architect and say, add this. So we
Please.
have, yeah, we'll have the architect do it, not
Okay.
Mr. AI.
Okay, thank you.
So we're looking for the elevation. We're looking for a response from DOT on the entrance. We're looking at maybe an update on discussions on off-site improvements.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for turning radius.
Dependent on what DOT says about the driveway, all that could change.
That's
but
true.
Right, but I guess on
doubt it
either,
will,
en-
but like,
on either entrance, we'd
Yeah.
want
yeah.
turning radius for potential tractor trailers incoming and exiting. Is there anything else that,
We will, I don't know if, do we actually have a copy of those guardrail details?
Not yet.
well, that's gonna be.
I said I would add it on to it. but I
Okay,
haven't.
so we're planning, that's what we're going to be
That-
looking
we'll add that to
for.
the list.
The final notes about how lighting will work on the site should be included on the plan.
Yep.
And then do we have the details of the wall signs?
And the signage about no overnight parking.
And the signage about no overnight parking. Okay.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we continue to August 20th, was it?
Yep.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to continue this public hearing to August 20th. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Also,
Okay.
maybe to make note that the applicant is in agreement with that?
The applicant is in agreement.
I'm in agreement with that.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you
ladies
so
and gentlemen.
much. Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
And
Hello,
welcome,
Phil. So it is 7:12, and I will seat Phil Lamoureux. He's here. Okay. So our second application of the evening is a site plan review application for the New Hampshire Electric Cooperative. This is a new application. We have an added tool in our tool belt here, planning board members, where we have our giant checklist, but this is after we find the application complete or not, so
It's a brand new tool for some of us.
brand new for me, so I guess. Okay, so this is a site plan review application from the New Hampshire Electric Cooperative to construct an approximately 77-foot by 31-foot covered rack structure for storage of wires and materials at 579 Tenny Mountain Highway, parcel 212-028. Property is located in the Industrial Commercial Development District. So first, we will review the materials and the application for completeness. And we have many waivers with a thorough written waiver request form. And staff in their memo included our waiver request regulations from site plan review. So I guess since this is a new application, I'm going to use the staff memo and go over a little bit of history. So in 1996, the ZBA granted a special exception for fuel storage pre-subdivision. In 2002, the planning board approved a minor subdivision to split the electric co-op parcel into 2 existing parcels. In 2003, the planning board approved a site plan to create a new parking area. And in 2007, the zoning board granted a variance to allow 2 freestanding signs. So the material storage area, I had a little trouble locating it at first. So it's primarily located south of the existing structures. It would be south of the building labeled warehouse building within an existing fenced and paved area. A garage and pole shed are already located in this area along with other outdoor storage. And the property appears to include a 33-foot right-of-way serving the parcel to the south. However, this does not appear to be impacted by the proposed development. The proposed accessory structure would have a footprint of approximately 2,280 square feet, which is what has triggered the site plan review, because it's larger than 1,000 square feet. The plan indicates that the proposed development would be over 110 feet from the nearest property line. The electrical conduit would extend to the slab for potential lighting in the future, though it appears no lighting is proposed at this time, and there's no increase of impervious surface, and the height does not exceed 25 feet. Hopefully that was all helpful. So our waiver regulations, because there are a number of waivers requested in this application. And I think that is, for me, our kind of primary talking point this evening in terms of completeness. I believe the applicant has been candid in their letter here. So on the second page of the letter, the second paragraph down, the applicant says that in planning this project, I expected to need a building permit. However, once I submitted for the building permit, I was informed that because the roof area exceeded 1,000 square feet, the site review was needed. I'm hoping we can have this done in July so we can order the custom fabricated materials and complete the project before the end of 2026. Because I did not expect to go to site review, I apologize for using old documents to provide what is required in your checklist of data. However, our building locations and pavement area have not changed since 2002. Our building locations, elevations, and exterior dimensions have not changed since 2002. I believe the attached documents have met all the town requirements for the site plan review. So any initial discussion here?
You know, looking at all this, the only one I'm like racking my brain about a little bit is the waiver for 20 to 25. And in addition to the items required, the following are required of all projects proposing a new building or changes to an exterior dimension of existing building. And we're, I think, being told that there's no new building. And
Right.
there is a new building, if I'm reading this correctly, just not new impervious surface.
I think there's a,
How is this exactly playing out? I'm trying to figure this out.
so I think there might be a challenge with the definition of what a building is. Because they're calling it basically, let's see, roof over rack project. They want to install an additional set of storage racks on the property to store various equipment, including wire reels. These racks are intended to include a roof over them to minimize snow and rain. There are no walls planned for the project. Because our wire sizes and construction have changed over many years, we have been in business and sometimes need to store wire reels. So I think the lack of walls is what the applicant is kind of quietly arguing makes this not a building.
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of a somewhat gray, I suppose. I'd be curious for staff input on this? In terms of what is our history of dealing with this sort of situation?
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly dealt with this question before, right? What is an accessory structure? In particular, the board may recall this question came up on the Three Lakes landscaping site plan.
Yep.
So an accessory structure, let me just pull that definition. Just a second here. Anything constructed or erected with a fixed location on the ground which is subordinate to and detached from, but located on the same lot as the principal structure, the use of which is customarily incidental and secondary to that of the principal structure. Accessory structures shall include, but not be limited to, pools and shed. So that's how the zoning ordinance defines an accessory structure. It's basically defined by the fixed location on the ground and the subordinates to the primary structure. We ran into this with the wall, the modular block wall that held landscape materials on the Three Lakes site, and that it ended up being determined that that was a structure. But in this case, there's no impervious surface being added. It's not a new building. It's not a new paved area. You know, the area is already paved. It's just basically adding a sort of fixed construction in that permanent location on the site where there is already a paved area. So from a drainage perspective, you're not adding impervious surface, but you are adding a new construction with a fixed location on the
Which would be a
ground.
building.
An accessory structure.
We'll say, yeah, structure versus
It's not
building.
a building, it's a roof structure, right?
Yeah, so structure and building are,
Well, I would call a structure a building,
Yes.
okay.
and
I would call a building a structure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would say a building is a structure, but a structure is not necessarily a building.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Joseph
I would
kind of
say
answered
they're
our
both the
question
same,
without quite
but-
answering.
Well, yeah, the building, so the determination at the time of the building permit, which is, I believe, supported by the zoning, is that because you're adding footprint, building footprint, we call kind of, the same with footprint of a primary or accessory structure, over 1,000 square feet, that's what dictated the need to come to the planning board for site plan. So it's sort of there's a little bit of a nuance there, but that was the distinction that required it to come to the site.
I mean, so I'm thinking 20 to 25 by the letter of our regulations apply. I also don't want to be burdensome. At the same time, it seems to meet those requirements that 20 to 25 would come into play.
Right.
I'm thinking of an analogous structure, and that's at the pavilion that was built behind AR Lodge. And that is, I'm sorry, what?
Where's AR
Route
Lodge?
3 North?
Yeah, the Alex Ray's.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
They built a post and beam
Pavilion,
pavilion with no walls on it.
right.
But it is still a permanent structure that I would consider that to be a building. I don't recall, I know they received a building permit for, I don't
They
recall.
came before the board, I think.
I believe it did.
Yeah.
Putting it right here.
So items 20 through 25 are
I mean, it's.
survey of sites, existing and proposed contours, finished grade elevations, base flood elevations, elevation of the first floor of all existing and proposed buildings on the site, provision and existing buildings on, there's a lot of buildings on the site. Provision for future expansion of sewer and water, location, elevation, layout of catch basins, and other drainage features. I'm wondering, do these truly apply to this type of structure, or is it just because it is a building that we need to look at these
I
things?
mean, I just think,
There's no need there's no additional future and water and sewer needs based on this structure.
Correct, that's what I'm thinking.
so I think most of these probably could be still waived.
Yeah.
I'm not sure all of them could, which is why I said I think it needs a little bit of closer look.
Okay, so the size and location of all public service connections, gas, power, telephone, fire alarm, overhead, or underground. There were some things earlier in the checklist. That I was since these are reused plans, I was kind of curious to see if they were already on here anyway. But the exhibit number 1 is a subdivision plan, so so there are clearly gradients and wetlands depicted. But the proposed building is not. And on the exhibit 2, the proposed building is depicted.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Neil.
Does the co-op have a stormwater pollution prevention plan?
Is there an applicant here? Would you please come up and help us clarify?
Anytime, thank you. My name is Gary LeMay. I work for the New Hampshire Co-op. I'm the Director of Facilities and Renewable Energy Engineer up there. I have not seen a stormwater pollution protection plan, but that would probably come under our safety group, and if we need one, I'm sure we have one, but I personally have not seen that. I think it's necessary. You've got wetlands in close proximity, and you have a stream, and you have a site that exceeds an acre. Correct. I mean, if we have needed one in the past, I'm sure that we have one, and maybe it would be upgraded. Yeah, I have done these in the past in another job, but I haven't seen the one for this site. But again, we are not changing any of the runoff here at all. You're increasing. No, we're not.
No,
We have impervious surface there now?
Yes.
We have a paved surface. So we've got a paved area. We have open racks now in this same area. All we're doing, instead of having an open rack, is we're just trying to put a roof over it to prevent some of the rotting and damage to the reels. You know, we can have reels of wire for 25, 30 years. In case we have a failure, we have to match it and splice it. That's kind of what prompted this. So there is no change in impervious surface. The roof is going to be over exactly where we had pavement. The water is going to run exactly where it is now. So that's why I felt that we didn't have any increase in usage or. You can provide a stormwater pollution prevention plan? If we have had one in the past, I will see what I can do to find one. I have not seen one. I've been doing this job for 4 or 5 years, and I have not seen a stormwater pollution protection plan. But
Did you say 45?
5 years.
5. I thought you said 425.
I've been in the utility industry 49 years, but I've only been at the co-op 14 years and 5 years in this particular.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I misheard you.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the area, and I recall that it is paved. And so the funny thing to me is that there's existing racking, which is, because it's modular, it could be disassembled and moved. It's not a structure, but if you were to look at it, it's probably been there indefinitely, and anyone would assume it's a structure, but it's not, because it's modular. So, you know, what my understanding is, they're trying to put a roof over racking that's already there, and maybe enlarge it a little bit.
No, this is a new racking.
Oh, it's new racking.
It is new racking
But
because
it's an area where there's other racking.
it's in the same area adjacent to some other racks.
Okay.
It is the existing racks that we have, I believe, were put in 12 to 15 years ago. I don't remember them going in.
Yeah.
They're painted and, again, don't have a roof. These racks I'm going to have galvanized, and we're going to be able to unbolt them and pick them up and move the whole thing if we relocate.
Thank you.
So it's, is it permanent? Well, it's permanent so the wind doesn't blow it away, yes. And it'll have a roof over it just, again, to protect the equipment. But we intentionally don't want any walls. And, where I'm going to have a conduit there in case we need to put lights underneath it. But really I think we could have gotten away with this whole thing if I didn't have a roof on it. I'm not trying to stop you from doing what I think you need to do, but it is new construction, and technically the site is larger than an acre, and you should have a plan. You should have a plan. You have wetlands all around this property, and you have a stream that goes into the Baker River and goes into other wetlands, and I think you need to have a plan that covers the runoff from this
huge complex of buildings you have here in Surface.
And I will absolutely check into it, and if we have one, again, it hasn't come under facility since I've been there.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say we have one and lie to you. I'm going to say I'll try to find what we have, and if we don't, if we need one, then we will do a SWIP plan. That's-
Technically, there's a requirement here.
okay.
Thank you.
I'm wondering about if we look at the history of the site with the subdivision application in 2002 and then site plan review application in 2003. I mean, I'm wondering if those site plan review applications, that one application in 03, I don't know what our site plan regulations looked like in 2003.
So I guess I'm thinking at this point, since we're at the point of trying to figure out completeness,
Yeah.
that is something, if we do want a stormwater plan, that's something that we can talk about at some point as a condition if we get there.
Sure.
And as far as completeness, I think most of the waivers make sense. Even 20 to 25, most of those make sense. The only one that could possibly apply, and if it did, it would only be like as a technicality, I'm not sure how helpful it would be.
That conduit?
Would be an elevation.
Well, we have an elevation though, don't we?
Yeah, there's
There is an
Which I
elevation.
think is kind of, because it says.
So we have it, even though it says
We have a waiver.
a waiver request for it, but,
Yes, there's an elevation plan of the proposed racking.
so that's not even really an issue then.
I guess I looked at Exhibit 4 and considered that an elevation. Because there's no
Yes.
walls on it.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the racking layout.
Because
So,
that was something I was looking for as well.
so that actually, item number 7,
I mean, it's not exactly an elevation insofar as an elevation often appears the way it's going to, like.
that's true, it's more of a
Up here in life.
diagram, it's more of a
Well, This is
diagram.
more of a diagram, but I, at the same time, for a roof over a rack, I'm not sure how much I'm gonna worry about that.
Because it's just.
Looking at AI.
A roof and
No, this is not AI.
no walls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm not really gonna worry
Yeah,
about that.
but it is,
That's not technically an elevation, but I'm not sure it really matters. I think we could waive that probably.
Is the roof meant to be removable with the racking?
The roof is going to be attached to the racking, and if we move the racking, the roof is coming with it for sure.
I would
Absolutely.
make the case that this isn't even an accessory structure, if it's temporary.
I don't understand what you
yeah,
just
well,
asked. I don't understand the mechanics of that question and what you just,
So I guess there's, just for argument's sake, like, if somebody people put in shipping containers and a temporary roof structure over them, like, it's not hard to take it all apart and move it and put it somewhere else. I guess that's true.
It still
requires, it still requires permitting.
I would say, A, this doesn't sound very temporary,
Bolted.
and B, our inspector has already kicked it to us as a structure.
Okay. Then we'll support her.
I mean, a Quonset hut, could be,
Footings in the ground is different.
footings in the ground. Todd, were you gonna say something?
Racking setting on a pad to me is different. Well, if you can set them up somewhere else in the same configuration.
but there's probably footings going in.
This is just going to be, we're going to replace the asphalt with a slab.
Yeah.
And
Slab stays, yeah.
A slab, yeah.
Yep. What's the roof made of?
just sheet metal, steel.
metal, okay.
I mean, it's,
But it's a slab where there's currently asphalt, right?
yes, it's a slab with this asphalt. Again, that's why there's no more runoff, there's nothing different. It's just,
I'm not really seeing anything missing.
Okay, because I also want to point out that we have Article 9 highlighted for us in the staff memo that says the planning board may waive the requirements for any of the specific items outlined in these regulations. Before granting a waiver, the board shall find by majority vote that, 1, strict conformity would pose an unnecessary hardship to the applicant and waiver would not be contrary to the spirit and intent of the regulations, or 2, specific circumstances relative to the site plan or conditions of the land in such site plan indicate that the waiver will properly carry out the spirit and intent of the regulations.
I believe that's true.
I believe that's true as well.
So should a motion be made
Yes,
for that?
yes. to grant these waivers, we need
So-
to make a motion.
Can I just add one thing before?
Please.
This project started out, we were thinking about a building.
Oh,
And what occurred was, trying to get somebody to put a pole barn in or anything else, the lead time was years.
sure, yeah.
So we went back to the racking company that put the other racks in for us several years ago, and I said, I go to lumber yards, I love them. I'm there all, whenever I can be. And they have racks like we're talking about with a roof over them. So we went back and forth since last November to come up with a design that, to be honest with you, met my budget for this year,
Sure.
that met our needs. I can put the racks in without a roof. I can take the roof on and off. I mean, it's probably, I'm not sure if it's going to be welded or bolted, but the proposals that I had were, do you want to just do racks and do your budget this year and put the roof on next year? And really, for our needs, we really want that roof. But, so it may seem that it's pretty permanent, but it can be moved, and we are, we are bursting at the seams for space and may have to move. I mean, this warehouse, our warehouse is now not only the warehouse for our electric business, it is all the warehouse for our broadband business.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So if you talk to my warehouse manager, supervisor, she is, again, we have no room. So this was a way to alleviate some of that, but in particular to stop the rotting of the reels. But it could all be separate. It isn't like they have to be together, but that's what we want. That's what's in our budget for this year. And we pared this size down to meet the budget.
This is just an aside, personal. The reels are the giant spools, very
Yes.
large spools.
Yes, yeah, they look like a thread bobbin, but.
They're huge.
They're huge, yes.
Thank you.
And what happens is they rot, and then you can't take the wire off.
Right.
You have to then manually unreel it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and the wire, we're talking about is big
It's
stuff.
big, yeah. Neil?
You own property on Fairground Road, that's a state highway. And
We do own
you have
property on
quite a few
Fairgrounds.
acres there, right?
Yes?
Do you plan on maybe building warehouses there?
Not relevant to the application, so you don't have to answer that question.
okay.
Sorry, Neil.
That's my question.
You can ask that.
I'm just, you just said that you don't have any space.
We are looking at options, not only in Plymouth, but in other towns for warehousing and other things. We are looking at potentially coming before you. We need I think it's a special exception to put anything of ours onto that property.
Yep.
And I am working with my engineer on that now to perhaps come as soon as he can get something, perhaps, because we would like to, at a minimum, our thoughts, and I'll tell you our thoughts, even though I don't have to, is
That's nice of you.
our first thought would be to get our district office off of this campus that we're talking about now. Taking a left turn on Tenny Mountain Highway out of our road with a 50-foot pole behind a line truck, you can sit there for a long time waiting for an opening.
Wow.
So the thoughts that we have right now are perhaps going to Fairgrounds Road to keep our district certainly in Plymouth, and that's what we're working on for a potential development. Anything else, though, is potential. I can show you a plan that has all of our stuff on that property, but it's more than likely that we would start with the district office and then decide what we wanted to do with the rest of the campus. We know that our location is prime retail. It's not prime utility.
Interesting.
So I
Well,
hope that
Cal-
helps a little bit.
Yeah, Tom, go ahead.
So I'd like to make a motion that we grant the requested waivers due to the fact that the specific circumstances relative to the site plan or conditions of the land in such site plan indicate that the waiver will properly carry out the spirit and intent of the regulations.
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
That doesn't preclude a SWIP, does it?
A SWEP?
Yeah, stormwater prevention plan. I think we could, that could be something that we could
We can request it, but we
request
don't
it as a
necessarily need to
as a
say.
condition.
Yeah.
But right now, we're just looking at the waivers, requested waivers.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. So the waivers are granted.
Thank you.
And so we need to,
You
Okay.
want another motion?
sure, if there's no other discussion about the application.
I have a stupid question.
no
I know there's no
stupid
stupid
questions.
questions, but wait for this one.
I just asked about
hear it.
schools.
So, a brief description of the project, and it says excavated, so you're gonna put 12 feet of gravel under the concrete
No,
pad?
it should be 12 inches.
Okay, well, you got a typo.
Okay. I'm an engineer, not a typist, and I.
12 feet.
I apologize.
A lot of stone.
That is deeper
You're gonna have a
than-
well underneath.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's 12
Actually, that is a
inches is
good
what we
question.
would do.
That is a
You're
good
gonna
question.
handle the
yeah.
runoff from the roof.
Into, yeah, we'll make a pool there.
Good catch, Bill.
It is a good catch. Maybe we need to make sure that the application is,
Well, as long as the plan is correct.
yeah.
Yeah, and so we should note that the plan is that the application's amended to be 12 inches.
12 inches of gravel, not 12 feet of gravel underneath the slab. It's a good detail.
Yeah? Okay, with that, I move we accept the application as complete.
Second.
Neil gets a second. Sorry, is who I heard. Sorry, Bill. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I got one more.
Okay.
So you were concerned about like, putting a truck, making a left-hand turn on 25 or something like that, and that it's, why don't you put a rotary in there?
Wait a minute.
I think the state's already thought of that.
Property.
All those in favor? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions. Okay, so application is accepted as complete. We will now need to review it per our site review guidelines, and that's when we have our giant checklist that staff has.
AKA the Matrix.
We can discuss first.
Okay, I
Public hearing.
wasn't sure the
What-
procedure.
Should I open public hearing first? Help me.
You can. It's
I
up to
can.
you.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to.
I got one.
I'm starting to get tired. Thank you,
I
Tom.
wasn't, I just wasn't
No,
sure.
you're correct. That's the better choice. Okay, so it's 7:41 PM, and I will open the public hearing on this application about the storage racks for the New Hampshire Electric Co-op. And we can continue to discuss as a board, but is there anything else you would like to say about the content and the design requirements of this application?
No, like I said in my application, I did not expect to have to come here, so it was a little
Right.
bit rushed. I
Yeah.
apologize, and I am not good at typing, and that foot and inches are right on the same key, so if my finger didn't hit that shit. But, no, we would really like to get this project done this year. I appreciate the waiver being granted and the exception of the application. I would offer that I will address the issue of the SWIP plan if we can get approval to go ahead. I've got a long lead time. If I want to get this done this year, I need to order this racking because it's all custom made,
Right.
as soon as I can to get this in before winter. That's my schedule, not yours, but that's what I'm up against. So if everything else is okay and all, I will answer that question on the SWIP plan, and if we don't have one, I will get one made. I know exactly what they are. I've built a lot of projects for the co-op. I built a lot of projects for another utility. I built the big solar array we have in Molten Borough, and I have had every single permit you need in this state and that town to do that. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and I will, if that's what we need, I will get it. But I will also tell you, I've learned in two utilities that institutional memory and records are not very good. Try and find the subdivisions you've got. I don't have files with that. It's unfortunate that as people move on, and if you saw my office, I got a lot of files, and
Oh, I believe
I'm
you.
a believer in it. But, so.
I can
again,
imagine the cabinets.
If you can review this and we're complete, I would appreciate it, and please don't hesitate to ask me any questions.
You're still in the same office, Gary?
I am still in the same office. You've seen it.
I can imagine how many more binders you have than when I left 5 years ago.
Well, that's right, and we got, the Sunapee project going, and this project, and got about 4 more going right now, one of which is potential fairgrounds.
So I guess, I'm looking at this and it looks pretty straightforward in many ways. I mean, I'm wondering about whether or not we need a new stamped plan and all that,
Yeah.
which, if we do request that, could be a condition as opposed to a continuation.
When you say a new stamped plan, can you?
Well, for a site plan, like having a engineered stamped contemporary plan, or not.
Like an as-built once it's in place?
I mean, these are all kind of drawn into old plans, right?
Mhm.
Everything on here. And there are no kind of current notes to anything that's going on these, because it's all just kind of drawn into old plans. And maybe that's fine. And I'm just kind of just putting that out there as something, one of the few things that actually I think is a question we have to answer here. It looks pretty straightforward in many ways.
Is that not a completeness question?
I don't think it is.
Okay.
I mean, it could have been if we wanted to be like sticklers on that level, but I think we had enough to move forward reviewing an application with what
Okay.
we had.
Sure.
Yeah, but I guess for a stamped plan, are you looking at as an as-built, once the structure is in place?
Potentially, and again, I raise it more as a question. I don't really have an answer to my own question here.
I can see the point of doing that because this plan was drawn up for a different purpose. And so includes other details and details that may have changed. And, I mean, there needs to be a signature block on it, for example.
We dealt with this same question recently
Did we?
when the hospital was in front of us.
True, we did. And we did ask for a
and
new
we
plan.
revised our, I think we had originally asked for a fully detailed assessment of the whole property, and then we reconsidered that and accepted kind of a revised plan. We accepted the signed master plan and, kind of a lesser amount. And
That was, though, a kind of fresh site plan that had been edited to.
although, I mean, I'm willing to bet that not much has changed on this site since 2002.
And again, I had to scramble to find that site plan. I was lucky to find it.
Where did you find it?
I think we found an old file, and I was able to get it, and I had to go
Paper
down
file?
to Minuteman to get them to scan it and give me the copies that you got. So, nothing, in my mind, I looked at it pretty closely, and I said, if you've gone in our buildings, we keep them neat and clean, but they're old and dated. And so when I looked at this, I said, nothing has changed here, so that's why I'm going to use it and hope that it's acceptable. If you wanted an updated plan to some degree as an as-built, if I get this built, we can do that. I don't want every little weed needed, but, you tell me what you want and verify, and we can get an engineer's stamp. I have engineers on, retainer, and I've got a survey that I'm trying to get on another property right now. That's probably about 2 months out, but we will get it done. I mean, I've worked in the utility business at 49, almost 50 years. What I've learned, and I'm a civil engineer by degree with a PE, and as a utility, you either do it right or you don't do it at all, because you're a public entity, everybody is watching, and the co-ops, every one of you that live in Plymouth is a member. You can vote for our board, you can come to our meetings. So if I can't do it right, I am not doing it, because that is my integrity, and it's in the integrity of the company. So, we'll do what you need, but just hopefully that gives you a little more reassurance, I guess, that's all.
Okay. Can I ask what this plan was originally for, the more zoomed-in version of the plan?
I believe,
Exhibit 2?
let me
Because
just
there's
look.
a lot of elevation points.
I think that was the one that was for the driveway grading.
Okay, it's the elevation points.
And I was there when that was being done. That is the,
So exhibit 2 in this
Yep.
version of it.
yes, that was the grading plan that you gave me, I think, the date, or I heard the date from you guys, when we did a lot of grading there to just make the parking lot, the water flow a little better. And so it didn't quite get what I needed, that's why I put the other one in front of it.
Uh-huh.
That was really intending, you can see there's a manhole there, Extent of work, I crossed that out because I didn't want it to get confused with what we're doing on this
Oh, I see.
project.
Yep.
But that's what that was.
Can I ask a slightly unrelated question?
Sure.
Is there gonna be any lighting involved?
The only lighting is, again, that's 31 feet wide, and you can see there's an aisle down the middle, so we can drive the forklift down and put things in the racks. I want to have a provision to be able to put some lights in there if needed, but they would only be, you'd be on if needed. It's not, wouldn't be on at night. They're going to be under the roof, and so that's, kind of wanted to get the conduit there, and if we need it, we'll put it in, but don't expect it to be a big item.
I think the location of the conduit,
That is, if you want to continue to look at that, our Exhibit 2 there, where you see the, you can see where I've highlighted in yellow where the racks are planning to go, and you can see the rows of the other racks that are existing, just for your reference.
storage
But-
bins.
But where it says pole shed,
Yep.
we have power to there already from the warehouse building, so I'm just going to come from the corner of that, with probably a 1-inch conduit, to the corner of this, one of the racks.
Is that under the ground, or?
Yes, it would be underground. Yep.
Is that inherent in the word conduit?
No, not at all. No, conduit can be overhead, underground, surface mounted.
Okay.
Yep.
Glad I asked. Go ahead, Tom.
What's the location of where you're looking to do these racks? Are there racks there currently?
No, right now, those wire reels are on the ground.
Okay.
They're-
So on that location?
So it's on that location.
Okay, so we're not cutting into any parking area?
No, this is all, these racks are going
Currently
to
used
abut
for
the
storage
fence,
already.
and the parking is right on the other side of it. That's why, instead of having the roof shed one way or the other, it's all just shedding towards the back.
So I'm thinking, so do we want, I'm just kind of looking through everything here.
Yeah.
Do we want as-built, which would include any conduit that goes in the ground, for example, which would be good for everybody's records probably?
Yep.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah. Are we worried about, as Neil mentioned, the SWIP? It's kind of new development. On the other hand, it's not a whole lot of disturbed surface or new impervious surface.
It's not radically,
So it's not really changing it in any significant way.
Yeah. I appreciate that they are basically wetlands
Can
then.
I throw in an idea?
Yeah.
I think there's kind of three options, that they have a SWIP in place right now, which we could get if they.
If we have one, correct.
And
yeah.
even if you don't have a copy of it, DES should be able to provide you with one.
Yep.
And if there is not one in place, they could go to DES, and DES can either say, yes, you need one, in which case they have one done and provide us with a copy of it, or DES says it's not applicable, in which case they provide us with documentation from DES that says no SWIP needed.
I'm trying to think this through. The only like red flag that's coming up for me, assuming we might actually move forward with a conditional approval or something, is that, let's say DES looks at this and says, yes, you are gonna need a SWIP, and you're gonna need to make these changes.
And then we have a different site.
And then we have something that has to go through like staff review rather than our review with a different plan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not gonna happen, but you never know. Or a compliance hearing or whatever. We could say if DES comes back with changes, if we go by that idea, that would require a compliance hearing or something. Which is probably not gonna happen, but you never know.
Right, but yeah, it's a good point that we want to prepare for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my understanding is that if there's a disturbance of more than 1 acre, that triggers a SWIP. This is certainly more than an acre of land, but I don't believe the disturbance is more than an acre.
No, it doesn't have to be a disturbance of more than 1 acre. It's just any lot
there is 1 acre that is being developed,
That's not what I'm
or
reading.
a part of a larger parcel. The basically, I feel technically a SWIP is required because there is construction going on, and you have a site which is highly developed.
It is.
And we really need to have proper stormwater management.
So, I mean, I look at this and say, I think that hopefully happened at some point.
Yeah.
I'm not sure for this particular site plan that we're triggering that.
I think the best thing to do is have DES make that decision.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree, but I think we could make it a condition.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that we could still make a decision on this, subject to.
Yes, and that condition should include if DES, for whatever reason, should come back and say changes need to be made, that would be a compliance hearing.
I agree.
Okay.
I don't really have anything else to add, I don't think, or any questions.
Okay, so potential conditions, just to review,
Are there anything in the staff report that I'm forgetting?
would be to provide the town with as-bills. I think we should discuss what exactly we want to see in the as-bills, especially with regards to, some of these things that we see in site plan review, yeah. We are open to the public, yeah, I will invite other comments as well.
Well, I think on the site plan, on the as-built, we'd want existing structures,
Yep,
the location of this new, for lack of a better word, structure,
yep,
and the new underground conduit.
yep.
Anything else that,
I mean, I think all impervious surface as well.
that should be noted, yep.
Parking,
And none of that should be changed, right? That'll be part of the existing conditions.
yes. So all existing conditions?
And do we need them to delineate all?
I don't think every
parking?
single existing in the whole site needs to be like
Okay.
totally detailed again.
I think impervious surfaces is good,
Yeah.
Okay,
especially where there's the potential for a SWIP.
And I would say, like, for your own records, it might be nice to have like a full site plan, but like, of everything, but, I mean, for our purposes, I'm not sure every single thing needs to be detailed.
yeah, what keeps on coming up for me is that this site did go through site plan review
Yeah.
many years ago, and so where is that site plan? And did we just have different requirements in 2003
Yeah.
that are now essentially being grandfathered in this situation? Your face says no.
No, I mean,
I think in our discussion of site plan review requirements, we've kind of allowed kind of only those elements of the plan which have changed to be shown.
Mm,
and
that's kind of
broadly
what
the
we're
rest of the
dealing at
site,
here.
but doesn't have to be fully detailed.
true, this is
Yeah.
true, we have done that. That is,
So we should have some kind of indication of what's where, but not like every last detail of it.
yeah. Okay. And then SWIP.
It's required compliance with all local and state.
Regulations.
So before we get too far down this, I just wanted to make sure I had some notes on this. Are there any other comments from the public? This is a public hearing, so. No? Anyone online? No.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay. All right. Are
And the
we,
SWIP could be, when we do get ready for conditions, which would be after findings of fact and all that, could be even part of a all local and state permitting, including DES. Clarification or SWIP order.
But I think to Neil's point, we should specifically,
All that out.
yeah, just to say that we're looking for a, even if it's a negative determination from DES,
Yes.
so that we want some documentation that a SWIP is not required.
Yep. Or if you've got one already, then great.
Like I said, we'll find out, and if, you
Yeah.
know, DES has the records, and if you can manage your way through their system, you can find them. But we
It
will,
could be that there's no SWIP in place, but then they look at this
could be.
and say, it's not required. So simply a document that states that, I would see would,
and if
Satisfy
changes,
her.
and if-
I've done, in the last year, 2 additions that were larger than this in other towns that did not require any SWIP, just point of, you know, I know that in Molten Borough, I disturbed 18 acres, alteration of terrain, a SWIP, a wetlands crossing, you know, everything. But 2 other projects that I did last year, they were a 22 by 50 additions, and there was no SWIP requirement by the towns or the state, and Bartlett, you have to have the state do all the inspections. So we will look into it, and if it's required, we will do it. I do wonder, like you said, in the 2003 time, it might not have been a requirement, it might not have been done. But if it needs to be done, we'll do it. I mean, they aren't that hard to do,
okay.
but they do take time, and time's the one thing I don't have, so. You know, again, if you can make a condition such that if we need it, we will get it, if we can proceed.
Okay,
Fair enough.
that's fair.
Oh, and
Are we ready for findings of fact?
I am.
You are? Anyone else?
I think so.
All right.
The proposed site plan is within the industrial commercial district. It meets all dimensional requirements and setbacks, it looks like, yes.
Yep.
I will offer that it does not increase the area of impervious surface on the site.
You also state that this is also an acceptable use within the district?
I did not actually state that.
No, but I'm saying, should we,
We should,
Yeah.
yeah.
You want one?
This is an acceptable use in the district.
The site is highly developed, and it's in close proximity to a large wetland area.
Okay. The proposed structure is approximately 30 feet by 70 feet. Well, you said dimensions, so that'll be encapsulated in that.
I think it was implied, although not actually stated in those terms, that the illumination will be downcast insofar as it's coming from
Yes,
the ceiling
absolutely
coming down.
downcast, correct, yep.
and it will only, any illumination would be under the roof of the
Yes.
structure
Yep.
and not exterior.
Correct.
The structure will have a concrete foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that kind of
Yeah.
takes care of most of it.
Should we mention the structure having no walls? Or is that?
Sure.
Sure,
Yeah.
wouldn't hurt.
The structure has no walls
And potentially removable roof.
and a potentially removable roof. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, if they were to do walls down the road, would that create a problem for us?
Like, would that trigger another site plan?
I don't think it would.
I don't think it would.
I don't think so.
Because
Should we then not mention it because we don't want it to necessarily,
I mean, it's the truth, so it's a
Okay.
fact that we've
All right.
found, so it's
I
fine.
mean, what we're permitting is an accessory structure, whether it has walls or not, right? If it's,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not a permanent structure, it's not an accessory structure. If it's a permanent structure, it's a permanent structure, whether it has walls or not.
sure.
All right, great. So,
Not Bill.
The base of the concrete pad will be 12 inches.
We're well below the frost line.
okay. I'm losing sight of what's next right now.
Conditional approval, perhaps?
Additional approval, perhaps?
You have to close the public hearing?
That's true, I do, yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm out of practice. It's 8:04 PM. I'm going to close the public hearing. Thank you, Tom.
I'm just trying to learn the procedure myself.
Oh, wow. It's been a long day. All right, so conditions that we have discussed are asking for as-built, which include existing structures, and the new structure, the underground conduit location, and all impervious surface. And then the second condition would be to either find a documentation of a SWIP or find out if you need one or not. And if you,
Which could be incorporated into compliance with all,
yes.
Although with the
Regulations.
caveat that if for some reason we do need a SWIP and it requires we change any conditions, that comes back for a compliance hearing,
Compliance hearing, yeah.
which is
Hopefully
unlikely.
that will
but,
not
like,
happen.
Possible. In the eventuality.
it falls generally under compliance with local and state regulations.
Should be stated, though.
I think also we're looking for documentation, if a SWIP is not required, documentation
Yep.
to that effect.
Confirmation.
Last condition that I think is implied, but we should still state, is that any lighting installed will be downcast. I think
Yes.
we should just state that.
Sure.
Okay,
Who wants to do the honors?
Can I ask a question?
please.
When you say you want all the impervious surface, so you want me to have all the pavement edges identified on the
Yes,
whole
that's-
site?
Yes, which is what I believe I see on the plan that you've provided for us.
Yeah, it is on there, and I believe it's correct, but
Yeah,
just to make sure that I understood, it's not just in the area of this work, it's the entire site.
yeah, so
And we
this,
don't need every last little detail of everything there, but.
we
the
don't
impervious
need
surface.
every single curve. But yeah,
Maybe if I have the engineer or the surveyor just verify this is
this is where the edge of the pavement
edge
is.
of pavement and plus or minus whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question, thank you.
Yep.
You're looking for a motion?
I am.
I move that we approve this site plan review application in, such that it includes the conditions and the facts that we discussed.
Okay,
Okay.
Second.
A second.
Phil. Oh, no, Todd, you're first.
I'll let Todd-
You'll let Todd have it?
I'll yield my second to
Oh,
Todd.
that's nice of you,
Oh, I
okay.
don't want to yield it second.
No.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstentions. All right, congratulations.
Okay, thank you. So we can proceed.
Yes.
I will check on that SWIP starting tomorrow.
We will look forward to seeing those finalized plans.
And I guess the process here is, I can get my building permit? Is that what I
Yes.
hear?
Yeah, you should.
So I can get my
You're
building?
gonna want a copy of the notice of decision.
Yes.
And we'll need a copy of that finalized as-built.
So the as-built would come after, so we would that's a condition subsequent. So
Right.
that would come after the building permit. So first, we would send over a notice of decision within the next 5 days, and then you could obtain the building permit, provided the other conditions precedent are in place, like the SWIP and other permitting. But since the as-built would have to be after the project is complete.
So it would be a condition of certificate of occupancy and use.
Okay, so if a SWIP is required and we don't have one, I can be working on that while I'm building the building, and as long as I come into compliance before I get my CO. Is that,
I'm not sure technically that's true.
I don't think you're gonna be
Or
able to
a
start
condition-
construction without a SWIP, if
if
one
it's
is
needed?
required.
Okay. Again,
And because I
You're
think
confident.
the state won't allow.
For condition precedent, you need everything precedent in place before you build, I believe.
Correct. Plus, I don't think the state will allow you to start construction.
yeah, again, we'll talk, I got my engineer, I was with him for 3 hours today, and I'll talk to him tomorrow, and we'll
Okay.
find out what we got.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
thank you all, I appreciate it, and I will comment, every time I come into this room, it's such a beautiful room with all the woodwork and everything else.
It is.
It is,
It's a
yeah.
former courthouse, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This was the,
Grafton County Courthouse.
Yeah, this
like,
was the courtroom.
Plymouth District Court,
Yeah.
East.
Plymouth Police Station in the basement.
I've seen the
Yeah.
shooting range.
The shooting range has been
There's
mostly
still
dis-
like
It's been like mostly dismantled at this point, like within the past year.
I think the old jail cell's still there.
Partially, yeah.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
We did
Good
not
night.
go through this.
I did.
I glanced at it.
we did.
I didn't know if we needed to do that as part of it.
Many of that was kind of made null by the waivers.
Okay.
So,
What do we have to do now?
okay, so let's, to be candid with everyone, I'm feeling pretty drained, but,
second.
we have more work to do, at least a little bit.
I want to vote on that.
I mean, you could. Okay, first let's do agenda item number 7, informational and pre-application reviews. Do we have anything? No.
Not aware of any for tonight.
Okay, Graham. Okay, agenda item number 8, other business, the continued review of our subdivision regulations, and it's the big one. Yeah, rub your hands together. It's the submission requirements, Article 6. Yes, go ahead.
We have a brief discussion about the capital improvement plan committee before this? Or do you want to do it after?
Maybe other business. Yeah. Any objections to talking about capital improvements first? Nope. Okay, go ahead, Tom.
So just real quick, I've had some discussions with Joseph, had some discussions with Ann, the finance director, and just about kind of scheduling and makeup of the committee. So basically, we're looking at the committee would be planning board member as chair, which is me, budget committee member, finance director, town manager, 2 members of the public, and the select board chair as an ex officio member. That sound in line with previous practice? Okay. So then the schedule, looking at the town budget schedule, calls for final budget to be submitted by September 30th, and for the CIP committee to set up schedule of meetings with department heads, and they give a date of October 2nd for having us put together a schedule for that.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
Did you say final budget by September and then meetings with department heads after the final budget?
Yes, so the final budgets are submitted.
CIP.
CIP.
Yes, well, the schedule calls for, so the proposed budget process gives a date of 9/30 that the department heads send finalized email to town manager and finance director advising if their budgets are ready for review.
So,
So departmental budgets by September.
yeah.
September 30th.
Or CIP requests.
Yeah, and CIP
Different
requests.
than town budget.
That makes sense.
And then on October 2nd, department heads will be scheduled to meet with the CIP committee.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then that on November 18th, there's a proposed meeting for the CIP committee, budget committee, town manager, and finance director. So-
November 18th?
Yes, no, November 8th, 11/18, town manager and finance director meet with budget committee / CIP, 12:30 PM.
Seems late.
I'm just looking at
Okay.
what Ann
That's
sent
Ann
out.
Set that out. Okay, that's
So-
fine. If it meets her needs, that's fine.
Yes, yeah, she says, so on 11/8, so there's basically the hearings, well, there's 10:20 to 10:30, town manager and finance director review budgets and CIP items with department heads. And it gives a schedule. Then on 11/6, budget goes to the budget committee for initial review. 11/18, town manager, finance director meet with budget committee and CIP. So, so that's what they've proposed.
I'd say as long as it meets, I think as long as Ann's laid out the schedule and it meets her needs, I think it's really, it makes sense to me.
So I guess what I'm looking at is if, and where I'm new to this, Joseph or anybody else can give some input, that we'd like, I think we'd want to have a committee decided by September 1st, so that we can, the committee can have at least one meeting, prior to having department head meetings.
Yeah.
So in which case, we want to try and figure out final membership. So my thought is that we reach out to the budget committee, have them appoint a member, and then we reach out to the public to get two volunteers, so that we put something together that go on the town website as well as out into the newsletter. Also, I think it might be worth reaching out to prior committee members to see if they'd be willing to serve again.
I was gonna say, it might require some active work to
Yeah.
get.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
members,
It's
yeah.
that,
I'm not, I forget who the public members were in the past. I know the first year,
Getting-
Like Mark Halloran type thing, or
well, he would be the budget committee member, but,
he was on CIP too, but.
yeah.
We had Brooke Wakefield that first
Yeah, Brooke
year.
Wakefield was a public member 3 years ago. I'm trying to remember who else has been public member, but, yeah, it is good to have, it's a good opportunity to reach out to the public, especially, sometimes there are people who are interested in getting involved in things and they're not involved already, and, it's a good toe in the door to understand how, it can be a good place for somebody to get involved if they're not currently involved. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, it really could be open to almost anyone.
no, I agree, but but I do think that it's gonna take some recruiting
Sure.
rather than,
Yep.
that we're gonna get a flood of volunteers,
Yeah.
for it.
Was Walter on it in the past?
So, and then,
Not that I recall.
On the
Maple
CIP
Street?
committee?
Yeah,
Last year, we had Jessica Mayhew, didn't we?
right.
Because it was Sue,
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, it'd be worth asking her if she's interested again.
Yeah, you could ask.
yeah, and then maybe, say, our, our August 20th meeting? That, at that meeting, we could decide as a board to appoint the citizen members
Next month?
next month, yes.
Are you
So-
going to recruit them?
Well, that's what we were just talking about when you left, is that I want to reach out to the budget committee to have them appoint somebody, and that I want to reach out to prior members, as well as we'll put something on the
I see.
website,
Okay.
put something in the newsletter,
Yeah.
looking for applicants, and then we can make a decision by August 20th, and then we can, early September, we can have our first committee meeting prior to the finalizing of the budgets and meeting with the department heads.
I think that sounds good.
Okay, so is everybody fine with, maybe Molly, I'll work with you on something that we can put in the newsletter and put in the town website.
Okay.
And we'll, hopefully in 4 weeks or so, we'll
have some names.
Yeah, we'll have a couple names that we can appoint.
Okay.
I just have one other piece of, that sounds, are you,
Yeah, no, actually, I was just gonna say, I'm looking for other input.
no, I was just thinking other slightly different input on under other business before we move on. So next meeting, right, is our meeting, we're gonna talk about short-term rentals.
Yes.
So I guess Joseph in the packet, or Molly in the packet, that'll be part of, the packet, is the data from the survey?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready for that discussion?
I know I'm going to have a conflict at that meeting, but Zach has indicated he will be able to attend.
And related to short-term rentals, I don't know if anybody knows that the ZBA had two
Tourist home
applications for
applications.
tourist home applications.
Yep.
So I think we need to figure out what the definition of a tourist home is part of this.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Okay. Yeah, August work meeting, we have continuing to look at the subdivision regs, looking at the master plan RFP, the NRI meeting with the Conservation Commission, and short-term rentals regulation discussion.
Sounds good.
Those are the 4 items.
Anybody else have any comments or input or suggestions for the CIP committee?
No?
Sounds like you have a good plan.
Thank you.
Appreciate your work on that. Okay. How are we feeling about subdivision regs?
Question
I hate to put it
is,
off.
where did we leave off, and is there something?
Article 6.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Sorry, Neil. It's only 8:20.
Only.
You start at 5 in the morning.
how
I was gonna
quickly,
say,
how time-consuming is,
Where did we stop? Anyway?
We stopped at
Article
the start
6.
of Article 6, submission requirements. I'm also.
I mean, if we think that we could get through Article 6,
Look at page 2, look at those edits.
The back.
it's a
Yeah.
good,
yeah,
it's a good place to start.
Okay, we're on.
It's a short section.
it's 3 pages.
You think you think this session's a short session? There have been longer, that's for sure. Well, why don't we dip our toes in a little bit, just a little bit. Maybe we just look at letter A, application. So it looks like we have a comment that the submission requirements feels too late in the document, so we might want to take a wider look at the order of the articles at a later point.
I thought we had talked about that.
Within an article, we had,
Yeah, we looked at the parts of Article 4,
yes,
the review procedures.
yes.
We noted that. But I agree that the submission requirements should come prior
Sooner,
to the review process.
sooner in the whole document.
So maybe this becomes an Article 3, Article 4 rather.
Article 4, yeah. I'm open to that. Okay. So, all applications for design review, major subdivision, minor subdivision, or lot line adjustments, which probably should be changed to boundary line instead of lot line, to be consistent.
What would you say, lot boundary adjustment?
Are required to provide the following at the time of the initial, okay, so this is how it is actually kind of a big discussion. This is when we need to talk about how are we going to differentiate the application requirements for major, minor, and boundary line? And how do we want to,
And it might not be community planner.
and it's definitely not community planner. I don't even, what, town planner? What do we say?
You just say planning department.
Planning department. Thank you, Joseph.
So it seems like that number 1 needs to be broken up into a checklist for major subdivision, minor subdivision, or,
So we could have, 3 distinct checklists, or if it makes sense to do so, we could have some sort of tiered checklist.
I think that was what we discussed last time. was
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think, for example, the lot line adjustment is gonna include, items, certain items, and then you can also say, and for a minor subdivision, which is defined as this, these additional items are required.
Yeah.
And then for major subdivision, which is defined as anything that doesn't fit into the other two categories, also requires these additional.
I thought we had kind of talked about lumping minor or major together and then separating out
Boundary line.
minor or major. Well, boundary line adjustment is a standalone, and then I think we could actually have one set of requirements for major or minor subdivision, as long as we differentiate major and minor subdivision with a road. I think adding the road is the bigger lift, and I think that, even a minor subdivision and a major subdivision, whether it's a 2-lot subdivision or a 10-lot subdivision, you really kind of need all the same things. But if there's a road involved, even if it's a 2-lot subdivision with a road,
Didn't we define the difference between a major and minor as requiring a road?
maybe, did we?
The way that it's defined right now,
forget.
I think it's more of
That's
number
part
of
the-
lots.
That's part of the definition. It's not the entire.
It's not the only, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in practice, a major subdivision usually involves a
Yeah, an
road.
RSA.
There is an RSA there, but it usually involves a road, but it doesn't have to.
Okay, so a minor subdivision means a subdivision which creates no more than 3 lots and contains all frontage on existing class 5 or better public streets. And the definition of major subdivision means any subdivision which is not a minor subdivision.
Yeah.
So inclusive of
More lots and
and
road.
new roads. So all, if there's a new road, it's a major subdivision, period. I'm wondering, I don't think we included it in the packet this week, but the actual application that an applicant would use and the checklist that we have on here is maybe something that would be worth studying as part of this discussion, I think, as well.
Because the checklist is gonna vary depending upon
Correct.
which one of these 3 levels.
Correct. Yeah.
although I'm not sure we have to figure out exactly what that's gonna look like just to finalize the subdivision requirements.
True, that's true.
One is gonna trigger the other, being
That's true,
revised.
yeah,
But I'm not sure we have to do it at the exact same time.
that's true, yeah.
I mean, personally, I would stick with minor versus major subdivision. Usually they're gonna align with road versus not road, and this way you're not dealing with major and minor subdivisions in one place and road versus not road in another place and causing extra confusion.
I mean, if you had a parcel with, thousands of feet of frontage on an existing road, you could, in theory, you could have a 10-lot
You
subdivision.
could, without a road.
Without a road,
And in that
Yeah.
case, you might just need some waivers.
right.
But I think to avoid the confusion of having like 2 different sets of how you divide up subdivisions is probably helpful, just to follow like one standard way of saying major versus minor. You don't confuse people more.
Mm-hmm.
It's my personal take. I get where you're coming from, and you're right in many ways practically, but I think people also have a propensity to potentially get confused if you start
Yeah,
adding extra variables.
sure.
Because it winds up, we now have a 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense to keep it as simple as possible, but there are certainly, what we're looking to do is differentiate, we certainly don't want to require somebody doing a boundary line adjustment to have all the requirements that we would expect for a major subdivision with a road, right?
Right.
Right.
So I think we are doing a public service by
And if-
differentiating at some level.
And if somebody comes in with a major subdivision with no new road, maybe they'll have a couple of waivers,
Yeah,
and that's fine.
That's fine.
I guess I find that the checklist is an easier way for me to get into this question of how to differentiate these things, because I'm imagining myself an applicant and looking at this.
Right.
And I'm finding I made notes a couple months ago about this.
And do we want the checklist, because I'm looking at, we've got, number 1 says completed application of design review, blah, 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 including checklist.
Yep.
Do we want to spell out what the checklist is for,
No, I don't think we need to do that. We would need to just look at the checklist itself. Okay, so a plat including at minimum the items listed below unless a waiver requested in writing is granted by the board. Okay, so Avery has edited this to match what we currently see in the application. So 3 sets of large format plans, 12 sets on 11 by 17 paper, and a 1 digital PDF file. I mean, that is, yeah. So does the board want to change this to include an option for verbal waiver requests or begin enforcing written waivers more strictly? Great question. Great question.
I think waivers should be in writing, even
Yeah.
even if it's, they're standing at the podium and we're having a discussion and we determine that a waiver is required, that they handwrite it and submit it at that
Sure.
point.
If we have a standard form that says, you know, the applicant of this project requests a waiver of section blah for this reason blah.
I mean, we had a really good example tonight of not obviously subdivision, but really good written waiver requests. So I think that's actually extremely helpful to us in the process of going through completion acceptance.
I think what Phil, you're throwing out is that we have a form that
Yeah, literally have
they fill in the blank form.
Have a stack of waivers, blank waiver requests that we can fill out in person, have them sign it, sign and date it.
Another form?
I mean, if it comes up, I mean, it allows us to move forward that night, right?
I see what you're saying.
Like,
If it needs to happen in the moment, there's a piece of paper that you hand someone.
Yeah, if we're considering an application for acceptance and they haven't filled out a waiver and we want a written waiver, like.
You know, that has happened.
Hand them a blank form and say, here's a template that we've used in the past that all you have to do is identify the section that you're asking a waiver from, provide a brief reason and sign it. It's a very analog solution, but it allows us to move forward.
I think that's not a bad idea to have. Yeah.
It can be included with the application package as part of the permanent record.
Okay.
I would say it might be worth stipulating in here, just in case anybody doesn't figure this out, that a waiver request is not just that you want something waived, that it does include a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It might be worth saying that in the.
yeah, in these, it doesn't say, I don't think strongly enough, the fact, it's just like, unless a waiver requested is granted by the board.
I think we can ask for a reason for a waiver request.
I think that maybe we need to have a slightly more robust.
I mean, it wouldn't even be bad referencing the RSA here, because the RSA gives that specific language that you used in your, whatchamacallit, the staff report today. You don't have to necessarily quote that, but to at least like put the RSA in parentheses so people can look up like what a waiver actually really entails.
Yeah.
It's not just that like, it's not just like our feels that like it looks okay, but like it really is a standard.
Would it make sense to throw in like a number 6 that addresses waivers?
I was going to say
It could be
that
separate, yeah.
I think that we should actually maybe include it in number 1. Completed application for design review, major subdivision, minor subdivision, or lot or boundary line adjustment, including checklist and a written and any requested written waivers in writing.
Yeah. And
Okay, because I was thinking of
Yeah.
a number 6 that would say any requests for waivers of the above requirements must be in writing and must contain a explanation of the reasoning behind the request.
I wouldn't mind bringing it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
I agree.
yeah. Does it need to be at the end of the numbers, or should it be up closer to the top? This is my.
I guess the only reason I throw putting at the bottom is just so kind of after the checklist, you're saying, if you want a waiver on any of this, this is what you need to do.
Okay, I see that logic.
But I'm not saying it's right logic.
You know, you might be claiming a hardship,
Right.
something
Yeah,
like that.
it could be either, but I'm just, my point is more that we separate it out as its own bullet point.
Sure,
so that
let's-
we can get into more detail on it.
Okay,
of the
so
requirements.
let's just put it down as a number 6 for ease. And so we can have staff add language for us that says something along the lines of, what did you say, Tom?
This is something like any request for waivers of the above, any request for waivers of
Application requirements?
application requirements must be in writing and shall contain an explanation as to the reasoning for the
Right,
requested waiver.
Yeah.
And that would include an RSA reference.
okay.
Yep. Good, I agree.
Good? Thank you. Okay. Okay, list of abutters as defined by New Hampshire RSA 6, this is number 3 in section A, shall include names and addresses. So yeah, I think definitely including references to RSA
Yes, I say yes.
is yes.
Mm.
No more than 5, okay. The holders of any easements, any engineers. Avery, did you add all this language?
Yes, I did. It was added, I don't know where my little comment went.
Yeah,
But it was added to match what our current applications.
okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Fair enough.
that's,
I think those are specified in the
I was
RSA.
gonna say, I think they're in the RSA as well.
doesn't hurt to put it in. Okay. And then select board instead of board of selectmen.
Yep.
Yeah, it's normal, good changes. Okay. Final plat. Should the requirements be different for LLAs, lot line adjustments, minor subdivisions, or major subdivisions? So the final plat for all major subdivision, minor subdivision, or lot line adjustments shall show, okay, yeah, so this is the breaking out
Mm-hmm.
sections.
I think, I mean,
Interesting.
these are all going to be, I think the requirements should be basically the same. Almost all of these are required. These all have to be recorded. And a lot of the plat requirements are gonna come straight from the registry.
Mm.
You know, I think if there's going to be a variation on what's required, we should make sure that we're still submitting a document that is going to be accepted by the registry for recording.
Sure.
Should we reference that it must comply with recording requirements of the Grafton County Registry of Deeds?
Does say, and number 2 says, said plat shall be prepared in compliance with all applicable statutory requirements, including Grafton County Register of Deeds standards.
Okay.
So it is in there already. I think the main comment here that Avery said that I do agree with is that, again, looking at the checklist and this, I think I have to study it a little bit more deeply to see if correlating the numbers in this section to the checklist in the application actually would work. It might not work. I don't know if it'll
I'm
work.
not sure it's necessary
Okay.
personally,
All right,
but, I'm still on the comment above that.
okay.
Are the requirements for each of these per RSA, different?
So there are certain statutory requirements for recording, and really the meat of that comment is on the next page, where there are lots of individual requirements that are called out, where there are many things that the board, that are policy decisions, not require. So for example, RSA doesn't require contour lines on a recorded plat, but the subdivision regulations require contour lines on any boundary line adjustment, minor subdivision or major subdivision. Very often on
This
boundary
is where
line
boundary line
adjustments,
adjustments can meet a lower level.
that would be a policy decision the board could make to not require the contour lines.
As opposed to getting dozens of waiver requests.
Yes,
I
exactly.
was gonna say,
little bit, yeah.
I think contour lines are probably the most highly requested waivers. It seems like that's one of those things that we get a lot of waiver requests for.
It's good to have solid, well-tuned regulations than giving out waiver requests constantly like
All
candy.
the time.
True. But
Also
we-
waste
we've
our
also
time.
We've also had situations where there's a large parent lot with a small lot being subdivided, and they'll do contours on the small lot, but request a waiver to show the contours on the parent lot. Like, things like, if it's a 50-acre lot, putting, 2-foot contours on it is an onerous task. It's thousands of dollars of surveying time.
Yeah, Avery?
I did want to mention that there was a point earlier this year in which I went through all of the subdivision applications from the last 5 years and documented everywhere there was a waiver and which type of application it was for.
Yeah.
And I could get that to you guys in like the next packet if you wanted.
That would be
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah, it already exists, so we can just attach it.
Okay.
Look at you.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
It's
Uh,
awesome.
So these are what we're looking for, but my understanding is that the Registry of Deeds does not want a lot of this information. on.
Right.
Often we get a second plan that that's within the Registry of Deeds recording requirements.
Okay.
That's actually separate from, the planning board ends up getting a plan that's much busier.
Okay,
And then the
that's-
applicant gives a second one.
That's what I was just curious about.
And how many of those things that we ask for that the registry does not ask for are things that we benefit by asking for? Which I guess it's a judgment call, but I'm kind of curious about that. And that might require a little bit more thoughtful reflection.
Like, things like contour lines are helpful if you have, like, the town I used to live in had a requirement that, you had to have a minimum square footage of land exclusive of wetlands and steep slopes. So we used the contours to evaluate portions of the lot that had
Right.
steep slopes.
Right.
But if we're not using that information for anything, do we need to have it?
So it's like you're looking for like buildable land versus just total land.
Well, I mean, that was the concept, but like, as it turned out, we did a lot of hand wringing over what land was suitable for development. And in I think what we came down to was oftentimes like, you want to put your house on the land sometimes you want to put your house on the land that's least suitable for development by conventional standards. Like, if you want a flat yard, you don't want to put your house there. You want to put your house like over here where it's lumpy and like, it's not the end of the world.
Build it into
So I mean, I think it's subjective. Is my point, and I kind of got away from the idea of needing to require that and allowing once you create a lot. Yeah, I mean, in theory, you want it's like septic, like showing a 4,000 square foot area to show that it's suitable to have a well and a septic on a parcel. That's important, but like, once you do that, somebody could put their house almost anywhere exclusive of setbacks, and in reality, they should be able to.
Would it be, I'm not sure it would be that onerous a task to actually put it in here. Would it be like too confusing for us to look at like as yet another set of like comments down this list of what's actually required versus what we require?
What's required on the document for
Yeah.
the registry?
Yeah, what's actually required is not a lot, I will say, because we often even get waivers and grant waivers for example, a boundary line adjustment where you have one small lot and one large lot. We require a surveyed plan of all of the lots that are being impacted, but the Registry of Deeds will accept a zoomed-in plan that just shows the boundaries
Sorry,
being
the change.
changed.
Oh, okay.
So as
We
long as
would
it
want,
has-
we would want more than that in that case.
Well, exactly, that's what
Probably.
or it's up to the board, right?
Really, yeah.
But the stamp, really the key is, if a surveyor stamps it, they should also be aware of those minimum requirements
Right.
about like, scale and the space for the registry stamp, the place for the planning board stamp.
Now, I'm just thinking from the point of view of like, how many of our requirements are just more work and money for the applicant that nobody benefits from, versus actually useful.
Right.
I can get a list of what the specific things required by the registry are, absolutely.
This is a good thought exercise for us to go through.
Yeah. This has been really the meat of the whole thing that we've been slowly working our way towards. I feel not prepared to fully contribute right now.
I feel the same way.
And I think that Avery's data and the information, the added highlights.
Do we
will
want
be
to do we want
helpful.
to take a crack at a checklist and basically like list all of our current criteria and then have 3 columns to the left, one for, you know, basically, so the majority of a page is going to be the criteria, but it will be preceded by 3 vertical columns, one for boundary line adjustment, one for minor subdivision, one for major.
And we read the criteria and then check the box if we think it's required
Yeah, we should,
for.
and then we go through and, you know, we basically, you know, ones that aren't required for minor subdivisions, we basically just X out.
We could alternatively look at our existing application and
Right.
notate what we think it should be applied to.
Right,
So,
yeah. That too.
I'm not sure my brain has the capacity for that.
not right now,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm now.
later.
Oh, at 10?
Yeah, in an hour and 20, we'll recess. We'll take a brief recess. And then we'll go back. Okay, my goal was to get through section A of Article 6, and we did that.
Okay.
So I think that we have some clear elements to study and be ready to chat about during our work meeting, which is in 2 weeks. Wow. I'm a little turned around because we're doing work during business meeting. So we will look for in the packet for the work meeting, we'll really take a deep look into section B of Article 6, think about our checklist as well. So I'll include that checklist in the packet as well as Avery's data and the updated highlights. And I think that will be a robust discussion.
And a little bit behind my original schedule, I will have out to
No,
relevant people the
gotta take a break.
can't.
request for proposals by Monday, so I can get it into the packet by the end of the week.
Can you say that again? Sorry.
The RFP for the master plan,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm a little bit slower on than I was hoping, because
Okay.
life happens.
Right.
And
Actually, our next meeting is August 6th, 3 weeks, right?
Correct. Yeah, you have a little more time.
I still need to get it done.
You don't have any time. You need to get it done.
And if there's something else I can do,
No, I've actually made a bunch of little revisions and a lot of headway. I'm basically there, and I just need to like sit down for the last like chunk of time, and I can, if you want, I can like send it back out to you and like staff on Monday, and then it'll be ready for the following week.
Yeah, staff won't be
after-
in on Monday, so then if you want to submit it by the 27th.
Just for my own brain,
Okay.
get it out of my head for a little while. Monday. I'm setting myself an arbitrary deadline. Oh, you mean why are they off on Monday?
No. Oh, wait, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Vacation.
Oh, I am.
I'm
Yeah,
not on
Avery's in.
vacation.
Avery's not. Oh, sorry.
It was a holiday.
Sorry, Avery.
new holiday, all right.
Okay, so send it to Avery,
Okay.
and then we'll see it. Okay. Great. So, number 9, public comments. Graham?
Please. We're gonna get filibuster us.
Number 10.
Motion to adjourn?
There's a motion.
So moved.
There's another motion.
How about a second?
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Hey,
And abstentions. All right. Thank you.
thank you.
Why am I so tired?